Thank you for joining us for our latest town hall. We are joined today by Chief Development Officer Jason DeLorenzo and Deputy Chief Development Officer Ray Tyner. We're going to be talking about the city's business-friendly initiative. So Jason, why don't you tell us, what does that mean? What does business-friendly mean, and what are the things that we're doing here at the city?
So business friendly is more than just an attitude or an openness. It covers a lot of part of the city, everything from having a strong infrastructure in place to be able to support new businesses as they come to town, having a clear roadmap for the development process, making it easy, for people to navigate our systems, our processes, and because when we're dealing with large projects, they can get pretty complicated. Breaking down silos between the different city departments to make sure we're helping our businesses navigate those processes, and then being open to different solutions, not being stuck in the box and always doing it the same old way. If you have a way that you think it could be done better, we're interested in hearing about it. And that doesn't mean yes, but it means, okay, let's talk about it. That's interesting. Let's explore that. And can we help get you open using a different way?
Fantastic.
And it's interesting, Brad. I'll just add, you know, sometimes, when we meet with different potential customers, and everybody kind of has their own definition of what business friendly is. But, kind of what's not business friendly is, lessening our standards. I mean, we have to remember as an employee of the city and planning the city and working with our partners is that we also have 85,000 citizens, that have a stake and they are part of our customers as well. And we take that seriously when we're working with developers and our land development code standards. I mean, for example, a cul-de-sac needs to be a certain diameter so a fire truck can go around. We're not going to lessen our standards. Yeah, it's less money to have a smaller cul-de-sac, but we need to make sure that our future citizens are going to be safe too. So that's part of business friendliness as well.
Something we say pretty often in community development is, does that look like Palm Coast, right? Our citizens have come to expect a certain look and feel of our developments, and we try to maintain that as we review the developments as they're coming in. So Brad, some of the stuff that we've done over the past couple years to expand business friendly is not here in community development, but in engineering. They do extensive capital planning, and we really believe having the infrastructure in place is key, because if you're not ready for that new business to come, they're probably going to move down the road, right? You have to have the infrastructure in place. You need the utility ready to go. And we have that. We've built a strong infrastructure here, and engineering does a great job of capital planning, for the future. We also have a really good staff. Over the past couple of years, we've made some changes to our development staff, and they've really paid off. We added a development engineer who was able to just solve a lot of problems. He came from the private sector. He was familiar with submitting plans to the city, and he knew kind of how we work and what we're looking for. And he's just an incredible resource, being able to be that he speaks the same language as the developers, really is what it is. He's able to talk to them on their level and get them moving forward. Just being approachable and visible. Now, Ray and I, we are very proactive with our new businesses and development. We meet with them whenever they want. If we see issues coming up, we'll call them or invite them to a meeting and try to solve them before they become big problems. And I think that pays dividends. They know us. They know they can talk to us, and if something's coming up. And just having that open communication just makes a huge difference. and just not just open, but constant communication, consistent communication. You're getting that same level from us through the whole staff. It's consistent. You understand it. You can make the corrections or adjustments and be, work together collaboratively, right, to get these projects done and get these businesses open. And then just attitude. We have a great staff here in community development. We all work very well together, and it's not just us, because development includes several other departments in the city. And we really have been building a great team that's able to do solve a lot of problems, and just has a great attitude about it.
So it sounds like if somebody's interested and they might not realize that, if they're interested in establishing a business here, great first step is to reach out to you and stay in communication, because you can provide that guidance and connections with other partners or other areas that they might have questions regarding.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of times it's not just here inside the city. We have external folks that are doing some review, or we can help make those connections and kind of try to smooth out, some of the pain points, the hard parts that they're trying to get through, and really just being able to have someone to call, and that's going to call you back and have that conversation with you. We don't have the answer every time. We can't say yes every time, but being able to have that conversation goes a really long way.
Perfect. So all those things that you've done and you're talking about, and the work that you're doing and moving towards, what is that, some of that equated to in terms of results that you're seeing?
So one of the council initiatives for Town Center, because Town Center was really developing fairly slowly, particularly in the core. The perimeter stuff was coming along okay. The along Belterre and along State Road 100, where that's the high traffic volume, those areas were growing okay, but the core was kind of struggling for growth, particularly coming out of the recession. And so City Council added several incentives to Town Center. We have it's an opportunity zone now, which is a federal tax zone. And we have the Innovation District, and part of the Innovation District is the Kickstart program. And basically, the Kickstart program is a deferral of a portion of your utility impact fees or capital improvement fees. So instead of you having to pay them up front, the CRA pays it for you. And then as you pay taxes, you're paying back the CRA, because now we've built something, we're collecting taxes on that, and the dollars are going back into the CRA. And that has helped produce 2 projects that are completed in Town Center since the Kickstart program started. We have a third one that is just about ready to break ground, or is just starting to break ground. And then we also have we have 2 other projects in review. So we have 5 residential projects that are going to be beneficiaries of the Kickstart program. And why that's important is that common knowledge that rooftops bring commercial. So if we're going to get the core of Town Center going, we need people to be living in Town Center. And then we can truly have that walkable, bikeable community that Town Center was always planned to be. We have the 2 colleges coming to Town Center later this year. Matter of fact, we've had an initial meeting with one, and for their build out, and we have a building permit in house for their other one. So they're coming along. We're going to see construction shortly with those 2, and we attribute that to council's vision of incentivizing development in Town Center and really getting it kickstarted, just like the name calls it.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Super exciting.
It is.
So what are some of the other things that go on that you see? I mean, what does the workload in your area kind of look like?
Yeah, well, community development includes planning, building, and code enforcement. All 3 divisions are very busy. The building division is just unbelievably, Lizzie. You just would not believe the volume of work they do. So in 2020, we processed 15,665 permits. If you can imagine that, I mean, it is just an incredible number. Of those, 1,525 were dwelling units, houses, people for, places for people to live. And so those 15,000 permits produced a investment in the community of over $557 million. That's what the construction value was of those permits. So huge investment in the community each year. So 15 that we normally average between 14 and 15,000 permits every year. So of course, every time we process a permit, that means someone has to go out and inspect it either one or multiple times, depending on the type of project. So last year we conducted 55,622 inspections of all types. And that's not just the building division. That would include, all inspections that would be included in new development, so that there's some stormwater, utility, and urban forestry inspections in there as well. But 55,000 inspections last year is a really big number. Our folks work really hard. They are great assets to the community, and yeah, it's a lot of work.
And put on top of that, you did it during a pandemic.
Yeah,
On the
so
team.
that's right. And we actually had more permits in 2020, even though City Hall was closed for 9 months. We had more permits in 2020 than we did in 2019 through the
Wow.
pandemic. So, which is a testament to our staff, because we had to adjust how we were working because most everyone went home. We also, it's a testament to the community and really the economy, because to be able to still have that type of growth, when there was so much uncertainty in the world, was really great.
And I tell you, Brad, I mean, the Zoom, utilizing that for our technical review team and meeting with the applicants and developers and their team, it's great. And it's something that we're going to continue to keep. I mean, it saves them the trip of driving. I mean, if they want to meet face to face, that's fine too, but the Zoom is great. You can annotate on it and make notes on plans, and everyone's on the same page. So it's, we learned a lot, and there's certain practices that we're going to continue to keep. So
That's fantastic. So talk about a lot about different things and enhancements and things like that and improvements. So that's gonna be a cut, Angie. So we kind of talked about that, but I will go into it. So talk about, we kind of touched on this and some of these improvements and enhancements that you went through. So tell me about some things that you're doing differently today and what local businesses can look forward to here in the city and in the future as well.
Yeah, we've made, Ray and I we're a team, and so we're constantly bouncing ideas off each other and getting our staff involved to help. What's the next thing? What can we make better? Where are pain points and where can we solve them? And we have made quite a few changes, probably way too many to list. But some of the real more interesting ones are, during COVID, we had to figure out a way to, do inspections and keep our staff healthy, right? How were we going to ask our staff to go into a house with that, it's uncertain the health of the members inside the house. From the citizens' point of view, we also didn't want to bring our staff into their home and put them at risk either. So we actually developed a way to do remote inspections for certain types. If we had to enter the home, we would actually, and we've continued to do this, even though we're able to go back in homes now. We do it right over the phone. We do a face-to-face meeting, either using Apple or Android technology, and it's a one-on-one with the inspector and the homeowner or the contractor, and we will go through the home and do an inspection, face-to-face video, which is which is pretty interesting. And it works well, and the contractors and homeowners are really enjoying it. So we're going to continue that. We also added, with help from IT, an Alexa skill to schedule permit inspections and that kind of stuff. It's been working great. Something new, really innovative. Alexas are kind of, they're part of our life now. It seems like most everyone has one. So we thought, okay, instead of me sitting on my cell phone, to call in this inspection, why don't I do it while I'm walking around the house and just speak it to Alexa. We recently launched, and we're really excited about this, a CSAT. That's a customer satisfaction survey. And we currently have it running in building. We're getting ready to launch it in planning as well. But we have certain touch points where we send out a survey and get feedback from how we did. Did we perform up to your expectations? And that's going really well. And it's not just the score that's important to us. It's actually the information that they're providing, the feedback. And we've already seen some really low-hanging fruit that we never thought of, that it would be easy to make some minor adjustments that'll help folks out. So that's been really really great as well. In the future, hopefully later on this year, we're going to be integrating Palm Coast Connect into our inspection services and have a route planner that will help our inspectors be more efficient and our customers understand better what, when they should expect us to arrive for their inspection. We streamlined several development review processes. We already talked about some changes in personnel that we had. We're being better about citing the code when there's a comment, so you know exactly how to fix your issue. We've created application checklists, and that's good for the applicant and for us. Our reviewers know, understand that they know exactly what to look for, and the applicant knows exactly what we are looking for. So we're more aligned. That makes it a little bit easier when the applications come in. We reduced our review timelines on our major projects, and we also kind of expanded our TRX. Ray already mentioned how we've used Zoom in our technical review. That's TRX, and that's paid real dividends. It's actually been working really well. And so our TRX is every Wednesday. We have 1 to 5 blocked off. Our developers contact us, pick an hour long on the calendar, and we meet with them and we get all of the reviewers in the room that they need for that particular meeting, and we do it all at one time. Solves a lot of problems really quickly, Ray.
And Brad, it is, some cities, some towns, some counties, they require you to, put in an application formally before you even would talk to them. And, this is a service that we provide that, if folks are doing some due diligence, they want to know, ahead of time before they start investing big dollars into a piece of property that, maybe they're not going to be able to do what they want to do, so we have our professionals that are there. Are there environmental constraints? Are there floodplains? So we give them that big picture up front, and we do get a lot of people that are due diligence and really get that process started very quickly. And another thing that we do too that's paying dividends and has been great for communication is, we assign a project manager that would manage that specific application that comes in-house. And what that does, the applicant, our customer has that go-to person, for that face, that person that he can rely on to communicate with if they're having issues with, or problems with other divisions or don't understand comments. And, that person is your go-to person that brings everybody together. And that helps because, a lot of the complaints that we used to have was, I don't know who to go to. I mean, who do I go to here? So, a lot of our applicants know, they have their project manager, and if that doesn't get resolved, Jason and I are always constantly, we're part of the TRX team. our technical review team, we're there too. So they have a lot more resources to rely upon and not kind of in this black hole, not knowing where to go. So that's been very, very positive.
That's fantastic.
Ray,
then,
last year we also added the BRX. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, the business review extreme is what we call it, team. Same thing. What we have found in the past was you have these small businesses that they'll come up to the front, the zoning technicians, and they go and get their their tax receipt, and they go from one place to the other, and really nobody to guide them, to the processes to open up a new business. So we started this BRX last year with our building official and myself. When they come up to the front desk of a potential new business, our technicians are trained up front to kind of identify some of those needs of our customer, and they'll set a BRX meeting with the building official and myself. And we also have that on a weekly basis, sit down with new businesses. That's been pretty successful as well, and helpful, I think, for a lot of folks.
fantastic. So it sounds like a lot of this is it's all driven by the customer, that you're really trying to find ways to listen, to interact, and hear from the business owners, and the community and whatnot, through whether it be through surveys, through meetings. And what are some other ways that I heard you're holding charrettes next month. Talk about those a little bit. What's that opportunity for local business people?
Yeah, we are really excited about this. So as part of our strategic action item from City Council, we were tasked with finding a baseline level of service. And some of the items we already talked about, the customer satisfaction survey and some of the other outreach that we do. And these charrettes are all going to work into that. So a charrette, it's a funny name. Basically, it's a planning exercise. So we are hosting on 3 consecutive days, businesses one day, builders and contractors a second day, and then planning and site work contractors third day. And really what we want to know is, what do we do well and where can we still improve? Most of these folks do business in multiple jurisdictions, right? So they're interacting with other agencies. They're seeing the good and the bad, right? So tell us what you saw, what is working well in other areas, so we can look at it, understand it, see if it's something that we can put into our process. Let us know where our processes just don't work, where there's a breakdown, where they're too difficult, where the pain points are. That is really what we're looking for. They're going to be really interesting. We're going to do live polling to understand some of the issues. Then we're going to have breakout sessions, ask the participants to help us understand what our priorities are, what we should work on first, where we can improve the quickest. And then we're going to report all that back to City Council, and we're going to keep open communication with all the folks that are helping us, all the participants, and let them know what changes we were able to make and what we still need to, what are going to have a budgetary impact, because we have to consider that as well. And they're going to be great. I'm really looking forward to them. They're going to be really good.
And what's key is we can just do a charrette and end it that day and get all the information, but like Jason said, that's just the beginning. We have these folks as our stakeholders, and we will continue to have dialogue to let them know that how we are making improvements, what they said in the charrette, and to continue that dialogue into the future. We just don't end at the charrette. We've got their
Right.
emails or contacts through part of our stakeholders, and to continue that dialogue moving forward too.
So we did have some questions. We put it out there and gave everybody, in a spirit of a town hall, an opportunity to ask some questions, and we had some questions come in. And I want to thank Cindy Grudo, Nicholas and I apologize, Mr. Minicozy and David Alphin for your questions that you sent in. So, and we kind of went through those and there's some kind of overlap. So, and I know you reviewed some of those as well, Jason. So what kind of response did you come up with?
Yeah, so I think we touched a lot on infrastructure already, how important it is to the city to be prepared. All our developments, all new developments have to go through a technical review to look at, traffic and utilities, environmental and all of those items. So we're paying attention to those all the time. The utility department has a service plan. They know what they can handle, what the future looks like. They're planning ahead for those things. Same thing with traffic. We're looking at all those as the new projects come in. I think there was a question a little bit about service, customer service delivery. So as you heard, we're working on that. We have that new customer satisfaction survey, and then I would just say continue to use Palm Coast Connect. It is a resource, depending on I see the cases come in and that for community development. We address them daily. So please, if you have an issue, a concern, you see something, please put in a Palm Coast Connect case. There was a question about code enforcement and swale parking. We actively look for swale parking. The city spends a lot of money maintaining the swales. We do not want people parking in them overnight and destroying all that work that we're doing. So 2 nights a week, we have two code officers that come in at 3 o'clock in the morning, and from 3 to 6, they actively look for swale parking. Again, use Palm Coast Connect to report swale parking issues in your neighborhood, and we will proactively look at them. We'll go check them out. And then there was another question about surplus lands, I guess I'll call it, city-owned properties. And most of the big properties that the city owned, we acquired them through some sort of a grant, or they came with a particular set of criteria that we had to maintain them in a certain way. So they're not for sale. They're not available for sale. They're in conservation or some other method of protection. But we do have land in the CRA, and we just acquired about a month ago another piece. We now have a really large area that we could package together. The CRA, when you go to sell it, has a particular set of rules that you have to follow for that, because the properties were purchased with CRA dollars. So we don't have a time frame for that, but in the future, the city will offer a package of those properties, those blighted areas along 100, to redevelop that area back there.
That's fantastic. So, and it doesn't, like you said earlier, it doesn't end here. So if people have questions regarding development or businesses coming here, how could they get their questions? What's the best thing for them to do?
Yeah, feel free to email me anytime, or put in a Palm Coast Connect case, and we'll follow up.
Yeah, it's great. And like you mentioned, it's really important when you put in those cases or something, if you see something and you submit a case or you email customer-service@palmcoastgov.com, you can include a picture if it's something that you see, and that helps answer questions too, and put things and get issues resolved. So awesome. Anything else that you guys have to?
No,
No,
Brad, thanks for having us.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, Jason, the map on the web for the.
Oh, that's right. We added. That's right, and I think, Brad, you're familiar with this, and maybe you can provide the link that we have the new planning map that goes through all of the active projects that we have, so you can see what's going on in your neighborhood. And in most cases, there's some architectural or site plans that are there as well, so you can kind of get a feel for the projects that are coming along in your part of the neighborhood.
Yeah, I found that really helpful. That's gone live in recent months. It's so much easier to do a development search and pull up that map and see, click on the star and see what's going on in an area, and then you can click and find out more information about the project and all. And it's really, really helpful. And I think it's got a really good response from the community as well. So
Yeah,
great
we
job.
update that all the time, so it's usually very current.
Well, Jason and Ray, thank you so much for all the great information, for your time today. And thank you for everybody tuning in. Join us next month. It's pretty exciting. We're going to talk about our upcoming solid waste survey and the contract that is expiring in 2022, and finding out what the community wants. So make sure to get your questions in. And we'll be joined with Cynthia Swears and Mayor Holland. So we'll see you then. Thank you again, guys.